Well, we'll chalk one up to the mud because we quit working there about noon today. Quit dragging anyway because mud's just too bad. Mud's too bad. We had some other things to tend to, so it's late. I'm headed back to Stockton. Next few days I'll be cutting logs on a job down there, cutting and dragging, so we won't come back up here until we get the chains. Then hopefully it'll be running full tilt again. So next few days we'll be back in the walnut timber back home. Guys, enjoy the video. Thank you so much for commenting, and subscribing. Thank you to all the new subscribers for coming on over, and thank you guys for all the comments. A lot of good comments here recently, a lot of good feedback. I appreciate all the helpful tips you guys have been giving, because man, there's some stuff in here you guys definitely been sharing some knowledge, and I'm picking up some things, and I really enjoy that. I'm like a sponge. I like to soak all that stuff up, especially from you guys that do a bunch of this cold weather working or rough terrain working, work with chains, or have to deal with mud in your tracks on your equipment. It's good to know that stuff. So yeah, thanks again for all that. Thank you so much to everybody for all the logger threads orders. Guys, keep those coming in. We appreciate that so much too. loggerthreads.com, you can find all that stuff. Sending a lot of stuff out for the holiday season here. So yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoy today's video. We'll see you later. It didn't freeze very hard last night. It didn't get near as cold as they said it was going to get. I think they were calling for down around 20. I had, I think, 27 or 28, somewhere around there when I opened the gate this morning. I've got the skid steer running, been greasing, just kind of letting it sit there and warm up a little bit. I don't think we'll have any trouble moving this morning, being froze down. Of course, like I said, I try to clean my tracks out every night with a shovel, get the mud out of them the best I can. This whole nasty stuff here is kind of like mortar, so it's hard to get everything out real good, but I get it out the best I can anyway. The skidder's already run up the hill to try to start getting a few out. Train's been going by. Typical morning on the job. Let's go over here and look at some of this oak real quick we cut yesterday. This is that red oak here I was telling you about, this real good one. I think the butt's kind of dirty. It's hard to see the color. Heck of a log though. Heck of a log. Of course, the last drags of the day yesterday was just kind of some chinkapin and bur oak. Good chinkapin. These are just quarter saw logs. And they do make some stave bolts out of this chinkapin oak. But for us, it's a better deal, which I am not a big fan of one of the stave companies here in Missouri. If you've watched some of my previous videos from years past that have caused a little controversy with that said company. But yeah, there's a particular company based in Missouri here, southern Missouri, that I just do not care for at all. And we used to sell them a lot of logs, and I would almost just as soon pile stave type logs up for firewood to sell them to them anymore, which I don't, naturally, because I have to make a living and have to take care of my clients. But luckily we've found markets like this quarter saw market on white oak and the chinkapin oak, the bur oak, even some big post oak logs. And here's the deal with that. No price per board foot, it's not nearly as much, but anybody who has ever dealt with said stave company knows that they just beat you to death on the scale. I mean, just beat you to death. And what's the point in giving an astronomical price per foot for logs if you're going to skin the logger on a scale on the footage? So that big money might sound good, but if you're not getting your full scale on your logs, it doesn't really matter anyway. So with this deal here with these quarter saw logs, I actually get a really good scale. It's really fair. It's fair for everybody, and the money's not too much different, so in the end it works out to be about the same. And I don't have to deal with said stave company. That's not to say there aren't a couple good stave companies here in Missouri, because there are. They're smaller companies. They're family-owned deals, which said company I'm talking about, I guess, is kind of family-owned in a way, but I've noticed how I said company. I won't just come out and say it, but yeah, we used to sell them a lot of logs, but I don't care for the company. I don't want to sell them anything. They've burned their bridges with me. Buyers not being there on time, lack of punctuality, just beating you to death on scale. It's always something. Always something. Anyway, enough of that stuff. So we'll wait here till the first set of logs comes down the hill. We'll get to marking, bucking, laying them out. Like I said, we got a pretty good spread right now. I'd really like to get some more of this oak out on the deck today, because this oak really, it helps out tremendously when we do a sale. For one, the money's good on it. For two, man, it really jumps your footage up. I mean, it jumps it up really nice. It's just fast footage. You know, we got that big devil there. I think it measured 12 foot 35 inches. So that's a humdinger of a bur oak there. She's got some footage in it. So we'll wait, watch trains go by, then we'll start working some logs up. We're following John on the skidder up the hill here. And somebody asked the other day if we had a new employee. Well, I don't know how I'd even phrase that. John kind of grew up with my uncles and my aunts. They all went to school together. They're about the same age. And he helps my Uncle Kenny from time to time. And Kenny's helping me on this job because Dad didn't really want to come up here and work in the hills, which I don't blame Dad at all for that. So, and it's really nice having a guy on the skidder like John. John's actually he's a pretty decent skidder operator. I mean, this is the first job I've ever worked with him, but he's not that old and he's retired. He just kind of he works because he wants to work, and it gets him out of the house and gives him something to do, which, man, we're glad to have him, don't get me wrong. But he's actually a pretty decent skidder operator. He's picked up on it pretty quick. He's still learning the ropes. I mean, you'll always learn a ton of tricks. I mean, you'll never learn all the tricks to running a log skidder. I don't care how long you've been doing it. You're going to learn something new all the time if you stay at it. But it's nice because, like, Kenny and I have kind of taken turns cutting timber, and then I've been working the deck, and John drags logs. Which, man, I grew up running a log skidder. I did, and I've got to the point where I just absolutely hate being on a log skidder. I do not want to drag logs. I just hate being on one of them. I do it because I have to do it, but as far as it being super enjoyable, I think those days are about done for me. They're about gone. Now, this here's a road they've been coming down. It's little steep to get up that, I think, right now until we get the chains on. I think once we get the chains on, I really think we'll crawl right up that. And I know, like, looking through the camera here, the camera really doesn't do this justice to how steep that really is. That's a pretty good incline right there. I mean, like I said, I'm looking at it through the windshield here, then I'm looking at it through the camera right here. And yeah, but anyway, I wanted to come up here, kind of see what all this looked like, and I've been trying to clean some stuff out of the road a little bit, just kind of keep the road clear. And when John come down with the drag, I was actually right here kind of cleaning this stuff out. So now we're going to go on up here, and I just kind of take the forks and I just kind of, you know, rake stuff out of the way. It's not a professional job by any means, but it sure keeps the roads clear. And like I said, being a skidder operator for so long, running a skidder most of my life, I know that it's nice to have a clean log road without debris that you're fighting and running over. So that's what we're going to do now. I've been up here clearing the roads way on up the hill that way. Actually, right now we're just coming down this draw right here. See, he's getting ready to come down right now. He just got there anyway, I think. So he might be winching the log to him. But hopefully the improvements I made on the road towards the top of the hill, kind of pushing the debris back and just trying to track it in with the skid steer here. And it took me a while to even get up the hill, but eventually I just kind of worked my way back and forth till I got it all tracked in real good, smoothed out, to where hopefully it'll help the skidder get up through there. Like I said, we've got our chains ordered, but they probably won't be here till early next week. Hopefully Monday, but probably Tuesday. And then we'll get those bad boys put on and see how they do. Which everything I hear, everything you guys are telling me about them, it sounds like they'll really do the trick. Kind of sliding down there in the mud. Comes. If my fat fingers will leave the camera angle alone here. Must be winching one to him. I might try to run up that road there with a skid steer in a minute and see if I can't kind of track it in. Said John, he doesn't really have any experience on a skidder until he started working for Kenny a few months ago, and I think he does pretty good, really. What's he doing here? Hopping off or something. I might need to run up there real quick. A couple decent logs. Some height to them. Follow him on down here. We'll go down here and unhook the cables for him and see what he thinks about the road going up in. I'll get to marking these up, get them laid in there. Pretty good view from up here. Gets better the further you go up. Like I said, right across the river is Leavenworth, Kansas. Kind of planes, trains, and automobiles right here. This 45 highway's busy. Of course, there's a railroad siding right across the way from us, the East Leavenworth siding, and then KCI International Airport's only about 4 miles straight east of us, so it's a busy place right here where we're at. But John said he's getting up the road a lot better now, but he said there's a couple small little trees or stobs or something in the road over here that make it a lot easier on the other road. He won't know if I could try to clear it out and run it down, and so I'm gonna follow him over there right now, and that's just it. You know, it's slow going right now, but whatever we can do to kind of speed the process up, I try to do. Just the main thing is that we can keep moving wood. You know, it may not be things I want to do or things that I like doing, as far as, you know, coming up here with a skid steer to mash the road or whatever, but like I said, you know, as long as we can keep moving wood out, that's the name of the game right there. It looks like he's going pretty good. We'll see how he does when he gets on up here. He said it was a lot better, so hopefully it is. Hopefully it's a lot better for him. I'm trying to stay out of his tracks. I'm trying to use my my tracks on the skid steer to help keep the road kind of smashed down. We told John not to run in the same set of tracks twice, just try to offset each time, which you see I'm kind of coming along behind him here at the skid steer and running over his tracks just to kind of keep the road in check. Climbing up it pretty good right now. I spent a lot of time over here at the skid steer, just kind of going back and forth and running this down and tracking it in, packing it. Come on, little girl, climb, climb. Well, now we're gonna have to get a run at it. It's all right. We did it once. We'll do it again. Whoa there. Maybe.